Sorry, I was doing my best Star-Lord's impression from Marvel Rivals because I've been playing a lot of that as of recently. You know, and then everyone just goes like, "Eat elements, jerks!" Woo! Ooh, sweet moves, right? Yeah. So naturally, I will of course work on my voice impressions later, but I know you see the title of this video and you're just like, "What the hell are you on about? Why would you want the game industry to crash?" Well, let me tell you something, okay? I was seeing some discourse going around the other day where it was like, what's it called? Games might cost like $100, and I saw that and I said, there is no way. And so I had a few words to say about it because honestly, I find that's a bit ridiculous. And so today's video, I'm just gonna give you guys some personal anecdotes I have with this, just because, well, not much to say about it. I believe it's ridiculous, but we're going to get into it in a second. So I just have this random article from Newsweek that we're going to look over it. It says here, game developers are reportedly hoping GTA 6 cost $100. Okay. There's no doubt that Rockstar Games' GTA 6 is the most anticipated game of 2025. Honestly, I'd say it's probably the most anticipated game of the decade. Besides its gameplay and content, many in the industry have wondered how Rockstar will price the AAA game. Will the company keep it at $70? Well, it's more like 80 now, but whatever. The standard price for major video games, or will we see another price increase? A game industry analyst claims that developers are hoping for GTA 6 to cost $100 to offset rising development costs and inspire other games to increase prices. Now, that's one statement alone should be a bit concerning. Because, if I'm going to be honest here, video game budgets, for some reason, have skyrocketed to some ridiculous levels. And here's a game that I've played. My first played games of like 2 years ago or last year, and it was a Spider-Man 2. Okay, now Spider-Man 2, I believe it had a budget of about, I don't know, it was like, I'm gonna say 300 million or something like that. I'd have to look it up again. But it had a ridiculously high budget. That's because, of course, there's the licensing for Spider-Man, which cost them lots of money, and Sony actually pushed the game out early, and that's why some aspects of the game felt a bit rushed. But it was surprisingly, at least for me, it was a working product, and I enjoyed my time with the game. Don't make it. I'm not gonna make it sound like I didn't have time. And on top of that, it was one of the best-selling games because one, it's Spider-Man, but it was one of the best-selling games for PlayStation. And I believe, I don't know for sure, but that game might have. Maybe actually, it probably surpassed its budget with how much it sold. But it was only taken that the difference between like that game and other ones is that one, Insomniac has the luxury of using a very, very long-standing hero of Spider-Man who has many games and many fans, and of course I'm one of his fans, so naturally I'm a big fan of that. But anyways, so it's kind of insane. And you know how much I paid for that game, by the way? And I pre-ordered the game, believe it or not. Actually, I pre-ordered the game. I know. Pre-ordering games is really stupid, but I was so in the hype zone that I pre-ordered. Guess how much it cost me, okay? I believe that game cost me about, plus tax, I think it was like $92, if I roughly translate it. Maybe if I bought it now, it'd be a bit pricier. So, to put in perspective, okay, I don't buy games very often. I really don't. Most of my time, I spend playing free-to-play games. Like, for example, like Marvel Rivals, that I was referencing earlier today. It was, I think I have about maybe 160 hours into that game, and I just barely hit Plat 3. So, I'm not doing too hot when it comes to that game. So, you gotta be asking, like, why do I have so many hours in those kind of games? Because, one, multiplayer games can have, well, they have longevity in the sense that it's really easy to get into it. I've been playing the game for a bit, so naturally I'm trying to, I'm pretty good at the game, and I get, I put lots of hours into it, I have other friends playing it. But, to add to like insult to injury, the fact that the game is free is doesn't necessarily mean that free is in quotation marks, doesn't necessarily mean that it's a great game. Of course, I've been having a good time with it. It's actually pretty fun to play, but you get the point. So my biggest issue with games costing $100 is the fact that one, I do not believe the consumers. It should not be on the consumers to pay for your development costs. Okay, mind you. By the way, GTA 5 released in 2013, okay? That was really like, what, 12 years ago? And so you'll be asking, what is Rockstar doing with GTA 6? And mind you, Rockstar games have a lot of detail that people kind of don't really ask for, which is kind of interesting. But I just find it insane that they really expect us to be offsetting your costs? Buddy, It's not our fault you can't budget. And mind you, GTA 6 has probably been in been in development for like a really long time. Okay, maybe even before GTA 5. And of course, you have new engine updates and all that stuff. But my other biggest gripe too is that right now, at least in terms of like at least for PC gaming, video game companies don't really justify the price tag. I literally just watched a video from some ordinary gamers talking about FF7 Rebirth's PC port and how garbage it is, and I look at that and I say, yeah, I've had the same issues. Actually, back to Marvel Rivals again. This game, I will play it for a couple of hours, and then it'll just crash. I don't know, like UE assets just don't load, and I don't understand how that doesn't work. And so, in case you're wondering what my specs are, I have a Ryzen 7, I have an NVIDIA RTX 2060, and that's roughly that's my GPU anyway. So it's a pretty decent setup all around. There's other aspects I'm not including it, but that's what I'm working with. Okay, so I can run games pretty nicely for the most part. Like, I have no issues with other games and other Unreal Engine games, but how come this one from NetEase doesn't really work? And so, my question is, why should we be paying for stuff that doesn't even work half the time? I'm going to imagine, and maybe this is like a long shot, but PC ports for GTA 6 are probably not going to work that well. Because PC ports over the past couple of years just do not work. I don't know what is wrong with them. I mean, in Last of Us PC port came out, you had Blackface Joel. Oh man, that was actually jokes. Blackface Joel was jokes. So, where am I going with this? Essentially, I'm just saying, like, I just don't understand, like, why is there inflation in games, or at least why do people want an inflation in games? When, first of all, one, people aren't going to buy games if right now people can't even afford groceries. Imagine you want to say, man, I gotta buy this broccoli, or man, I gotta go play GTA 6. You're gonna buy the broccoli every time, though some of you retards don't like broccoli, but. Yeah, whatever vegetables you gotta eat, okay? Your beans, your soups, your whatever. And so I'm looking at this and I'm just like, you know what? Games industry needs a massive crash over. And I don't talk about video games much on my channel because like it's just not something I really want to focus on that much. But I saw this and I said, there's no way people actually want this to be real. It just doesn't make sense to me. Why would you want a game to cost $100? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do a little bit of a conversion right now. So actually, over here we use Canadian dollars, so I'll just do it to Canadian. So if a game costs $100, I'm just gonna use the standard Google this thingy over here. So let's see here, we do CAD to USD. So if I want $100 for a video game, okay, that is $143 for a video game. Do you know how insane that is? And by the way, I didn't even put in taxes. Oh God. Taxes gonna make this cost maybe like 147, 48 maybe. So I want you to put two and two together. It doesn't make sense. Imagine forking over like $143 for me, and 71 cents every time I want to buy a video game. And literally, Ninja Gaiden 4 just got announced, and you know how much I want to play Ninja Gaiden 4. It's one of the games that I like. An action game like that is just so peak for me. But then when I see increased prices, I'm just like, what is the point? And it's not just video games that's happening to. I mean, I see like Netflix is raising their subscriptions. I mean, grocery stores are raising prices. I mean, I believe that like the other day, it took us to get some cat litter or whatever, and the cat litter cost $14.99. But what was it cost beforehand? It was $9.99 or $8.99. They're on that much price. Tell me why cat litter is so expensive. So, I don't understand what these inflations are. And I'm going to be straight up with you guys too. There is no way a video game needs to cost that much to make. And marketing or no marketing, okay? It doesn't make sense to me. And on top of that, for most people who live rather modestly, you could maybe buy a few games a year. So I'm trying to space out what games I wanted to play. For example, last year, I was all about FF7 Rebirth, and that's the game I kept playing over and over and over again. Actually, the platinum was kind of insane for that game, so I don't recommend it. But you get the point here. And now I see this stuff, and I'm just like, what? What's the point? What's the point of playing games? I just want to play games for leisure, but hey, if I'm going to put in 1,000 hours into a shooting game or a gacha game, I might as well, because there's no way in the hell I'm forking over $148 every time I want to play a single-player game. And I love single-player games. They're my favorite type of games to play. Okay? That's where I get to show the most skill expression in anything I can do. Or that's when I have the most fun. That's where I'm mostly engaged in stories. Like, yeah. That's what I like doing, but You know, if it's too expensive to maintain, I don't want to do it. So, anyways, yeah. So this was just literally a yakking session because I saw this and I said there is no way. So, anyways, let you guys. I kind of want to know what you guys think about this topic in the comments below. For the most part, I think it's ridiculous. And if they raise their cost to $100, I ain't buying a single video game till it goes back down or until a sale comes on, because that's ridiculous. Anyways, ciao ciao.